The Council. Commander Sarah Chen had spent her entire career preparing for moments like this, but nothing could have truly readied her for the reality of sitting in the Grand Council chamber aboard the Nexus station. The massive room, with its sweeping architecture that seemed to defy conventional physics, served as a stark reminder of humanity's relative inexperience in galactic affairs. Holographic displays danced across the curved walls, showing military statistics, weapon schematics, and fleet movements that made Earth's most advanced command centers look like children's playrooms. At the center of it all sat Admiral CCS, his crystalline exoskeleton creating a mesmerizing light show as it reflected the ambient illumination. Chen had studied his species, the Crystallians, extensively during her diplomatic training. Their silicon-based biology made them living processors, capable of calculations that would put supercomputers to shame. Perhaps that's why their condescension felt especially biting. And now, the Admiral announced, his mandibles clicking in what his species considered a smile, we shall discuss the matter of human military integration into the Galactic Defense Force. The words hung in the air like a challenge, and Chen could feel the weight of every alien gaze in the room. She maintained her composure, years of military discipline keeping her spine straight and her expression neutral. The chamber housed representatives from 27 different species, each more advanced than humanity in their own way. The hovering Meridians with their gravity manipulation technology, the bioluminescent Six with their mastery of quantum communications, and the energy-based Varians who had transcended physical forms centuries ago, all of them regarded humanity as little more than clever primates who had stumbled onto the galactic stage. Surely you jest, Admiral, chittered Delegate Zix, their bioluminescent spots pulsing with what Chen had learned to recognize as mockery. The humans still use projectile weapons, actual pieces of metal propelled by chemical explosions. It's practically Stone Age technology. Chen had expected this reaction. It was the same dismissive attitude Earth's representatives had encountered since first contact 3 years ago. The galactic community viewed humanity's rapid technological advancement with a mixture of amusement and concern, like parents watching a toddler learning to walk, impressed by the progress but certain of inevitable stumbling. I assure you, Chen interjected, keeping her voice level despite the burning desire to show these beings exactly what human, primitive, technology could do, Earth's military capabilities are more than sufficient to. Oh yes, yes, Admiral CCS interrupted, his crystalline form shifting through patterns of patronizing blues and purples. We've reviewed your military history. Very impressive for a species your age, but surely you understand that in modern space warfare, kinetic weapons are about as useful as throwing rocks at a star destroyer. The chamber erupted in laughter. A Vurian in the corner was literally wheezing, their respiratory sacs inflating and deflating rapidly in their species' equivalent of hysterical laughter. Chen noticed how several delegates didn't even bother hiding their amusement behind diplomatic pretense anymore. But Chen had an ace up her sleeve. She'd spent months preparing for this meeting, working with Earth's finest military minds and scientists to develop something that would wipe the smug expressions off their alien faces, or whatever passed for faces among the more exotic species. With all due respect, Admiral, Chen leaned forward, allowing herself a slight smile, I believe you're underestimating the effectiveness of human weapon systems. Admiral CCS's crystalline form shifted colors, showing patterns that indicated patronizing amusement. Commander Chen, our smallest corvettes are equipped with energy shields that can deflect asteroids. Your most powerful weapons rely on launching metal at high speeds. The physics simply don't support your confidence. Physics, Chen replied, is exactly why you should be taking our weapons more seriously. She tapped her datapad, bringing up a holographic display of Earth's latest military developments. Would you be interested in a demonstration? The chamber erupted in another wave of laughter. A Meridian delegate actually fell out of their hovering chair, their gravity control temporarily disrupted by their mirth. A demonstration? Admiral CCS's colors shifted to deep purple, smugness, if Chen remembered her xenobiology correctly. Commander, we don't want to embarrass your species. This is meant to be a productive diplomatic meeting. Chen's smile widened just a fraction. No embarrassment necessary, Admiral. We simply want to show what humanity brings to the table. Unless, of course, you're concerned about what such a demonstration might reveal. The chamber fell silent. Even the Virians stopped wheezing. Admiral CCS's crystalline surface rippled, a sign of agitation that Chen had been hoping to provoke. Are you suggesting, Commander, that we fear your primitive weapons? Not at all, Chen replied smoothly. I'm suggesting that perhaps your dismissal of human military technology is premature. We're happy to prove our worth in a controlled demonstration. After all, if our weapons are as ineffective as you claim, there should be no hesitation in allowing us to demonstrate them against your best shielding technology. The Admiral's colors swirled chaotically for a moment before settling into a pattern that Chen recognized as calculating consideration. She had him now. The political implications of refusing such a challenge would be devastating to his position. The younger species in the council would see it as cowardice, while the older ones would question his judgment. Very well, Admiral CCS finally declared, his voice carrying a hint of static, a sign of emotional disturbance in his species. We shall arrange this demonstration. But understand, Commander Chen, that when your weapons fail to make even a dent in our defensive systems, the question of human military integration will be settled once and for all. Chen nodded, maintaining her professional demeanor while suppressing a surge of triumph. Agreed, Admiral. Shall we say tomorrow at the Nexus testing grounds? That should give both sides adequate time to prepare. As the meeting adjourned and the various delegates filed out of the chamber, Chen caught snippets of their conversations, mostly betting on how spectacularly humanity would fail. Let them laugh, she thought. They had no idea what was coming. Back in her quarters aboard the human diplomatic vessel, Chen immediately opened a secure channel to Earth Command. General Zhang's hologram appeared before her, his weathered face showing signs of anxiety. They took the bait, Chen reported. The demonstration is scheduled for tomorrow. Zhang's expression remained grave. Are you certain about this, Commander? We're risking everything on untested technology. If it fails. It won't fail, Chen interrupted. Dr. Patel's team has run every possible simulation. The physics is sound. We just need to show them. And you're sure they don't suspect? Chen allowed herself a genuine smile. Their arrogance blinds them, General. They're so convinced of their technological superiority that they can't imagine we might have developed something they haven't thought of. That's our advantage. Zhang nodded slowly. Very well. I'll inform the President and the Joint Chiefs. The prototype will be transferred to your ship within the hour. Remember, Commander, this isn't just about military integration. The entire future of humanity in galactic politics rests on tomorrow's demonstration. I understand, sir. We won't let Earth down. As the hologram faded, Chen walked to the viewport of her quarters, gazing out at the massive structure of the Nexus station. Tomorrow, everything would change. The galactic community would learn that humanity wasn't just another primitive species to be patronized and dismissed. Tomorrow, they would learn to take humanity seriously. The weapon. The prototype arrived in a container that seemed almost disappointingly small. Chen stood in the secure hangar of the human diplomatic vessel, watching as Dr. Kavita Patel's team carefully unpacked their creation. The weapon itself was barely larger than a standard naval artillery piece, its dark metal surface decorated with cooling fins and diagnostic interfaces that pulsed with soft blue light. Beautiful, isn't it? Dr. Patel asked, running her hand along the weapon's smooth barrel. The physicist's eyes gleamed with pride, reflecting the same determination Chen had seen during their first meeting at the Lunar Research Facility 6 months ago. Beauty will matter less than effectiveness tomorrow, Chen replied, though she had to admit there was something elegant about the device's design. Walk me through it one more time, Doctor. I need to be absolutely certain I understand what we're dealing with. Patel nodded, pulling up a holographic schematic. We call it the HERC, Hyperdimensional Energy Resonance Cannon. Conventional wisdom says you can't penetrate modern energy shields with kinetic weapons because they're designed to deflect matter. That's true, as far as it goes. But we approached the problem from a different angle. The scientist manipulated the hologram, zooming in on the weapon's core. Instead of trying to break through their shields with brute force, we designed a weapon that exploits the very principles that make their defensive technology work. Chen watched as the simulation played out, showing the internal workings of the device. And you're certain they haven't considered this possibility? That's the beauty of it, Patel grinned. They couldn't have. Their entire approach to defensive technology is based on their understanding of physics, which isn't wrong, just incomplete. They've been spacefaring for so long, developed their technology so gradually, that they've become trapped in their own paradigms. Like the railway gauge being based on Roman chariot wheels, Chen mused. Exactly. They've built upon their initial discoveries for millennia, refining and perfecting them. But they never went back to question their fundamental assumptions. Humanity, being the newcomers, we looked at everything with fresh eyes. The demonstration of the prototype's capabilities had been impressive enough on Earth's testing ranges, but tomorrow they would be facing actual alien defensive technology. Chen couldn't help but feel a flutter of anxiety in her stomach. Dr. Patel, what's the worst-case scenario? If something goes wrong? The scientist's expression grew serious. The worst case? The weapon fails to penetrate their shields, and humanity becomes a laughingstock in the galactic community. But it won't explode or cause any collateral damage. We've built in every possible safety measure. And the best case? We change the face of galactic warfare and defense technology forever. Patel's eyes sparkled. Commander, what we've created here isn't just a weapon. It's proof that humanity can innovate in ways the older species haven't imagined. We're not just catching up to them, in some ways, we're leapfrogging over millennia of technological development. Their conversation was interrupted by a chime from Chen's communicator. A message from Admiral CCS's office had arrived, detailing the parameters for tomorrow's demonstration. Chen read it aloud. The demonstration will take place at 0900 Galactic Standard Time in Testing Zone Alpha. The human delegation will be permitted one weapon platform of their choosing. This weapon will be tested against our latest generation Corvette-class shield system, currently rated to withstand impacts up to 50 terajoules. Medical personnel will be standing by in the unlikely event of shield failure. The message continued with various technical specifications and safety protocols, but Chen was already smiling. They had taken the bait completely, preparing for exactly the kind of demonstration they expected, a futile attempt to overwhelm their shields with brute force. They're deploying a Corvette-class shield, Chen told Patel. Thoughts? The scientist actually laughed. Perfect. They're showing off. Those shields are designed to handle anything from meteor impacts to limited nuclear strikes. They want to make absolutely certain we fail spectacularly. Will that affect our chances of success? Not in the slightest. The principles we're exploiting work the same way regardless of the shield's power rating. In fact, a more powerful shield might actually work in our favor. Chen nodded, feeling some of her anxiety ease. She turned to the weapon technicians who were running final diagnostic checks. How long until you're ready for transport to the testing zone? 2 hours for final calibration, the lead technician reported. We'll have everything set up well before the demonstration tomorrow morning. Good. Dr. Patel, I want you there tomorrow. If something does go wrong, you'll be best positioned to explain what happened and why. The scientist nodded eagerly. I wouldn't miss it for anything. Commander, do you realize what tomorrow really means? This isn't just about proving our military worth. This is humanity's chance to show the galaxy that we're not just playing catch-up. We're innovating in ways they never imagined. Chen understood perfectly. Tomorrow's demonstration would be about more than just military technology. It would be about challenging the established order, about proving that humanity's primitive perspective could offer something valuable to galactic civilization. As she left the hangar, Chen received another message, this one from her private channel. It was from her father, a retired quantum physicist who had first inspired her interest in science and technology. The message was simple: show them what humans can do, Sarah. Make them remember this day. She intended to do exactly that. That evening, as Chen prepared for what would likely be the most important day of her career, she received an unexpected visitor. The ship's AI announced the arrival of Delegate Zix, the same being who had laughed so heartily at humanity's primitive weapons during the council meeting. Commander Chen, the bioluminescent alien spots pulsed in patterns that indicated curiosity and concern. I hope I'm not interrupting your preparations. Not at all, Delegate. Please, come in. Chen gestured to a chair specially designed to accommodate various alien physiologies. I've come to offer you a chance to withdraw from tomorrow's demonstration gracefully, Zix said, their bioluminescence dimming to show sincerity. I know you feel you must defend humanity's honor, but there's no shame in admitting that you're not yet ready for full military integration. Chen kept her expression neutral, though she felt a surge of satisfaction. They were worried enough to try to talk her out of it. I appreciate your concern, Delegate, but we're quite confident in our technology. Commander, please understand, I've reviewed the specifications of your most advanced weapons. There is simply no way a kinetic weapon can breach modern shield technology. The physics doesn't allow for it. Perhaps, Chen replied carefully, there are aspects of physics that your civilization hasn't fully explored. Zix's spots flashed in patterns of disbelief and amusement. Commander, my species had mastered quantum mechanics before your people invented the wheel. What could you possibly know about physics that we don't? Tomorrow, Chen said with a slight smile, you'll have your answer. After the delegate left, Chen reviewed the final preparation reports. Everything was ready. Tomorrow, the galaxy would learn that sometimes the greatest innovations come not from building upon old knowledge, but from daring to question it entirely. As she prepared for sleep, Chen thought about the journey that had brought humanity to this point. 3 years ago, when the first alien ships appeared in Earth's orbit, many had feared it would mean the end of human independence. Instead, it had sparked the greatest period of scientific advancement in human history. Tomorrow would prove that humanity wasn't just ready to join galactic civilization, they were ready to help lead it into a new era of innovation. The demonstration. Testing Zone Alpha stretched out before them like a massive amphitheater in space. Holographic barriers marked the safe observation distance, behind which hundreds of delegates from various species had gathered to witness what many believed would be humanity's greatest embarrassment. The target, a Corvette-class shield generator mounted on a testing platform, hummed with barely contained power, its protective field shimmering with an iridescent glow. Commander Chen stood beside the Herc, conscious of the countless eyes and sensory organs fixed upon her. Dr. Patel's team worked methodically through their final checks, each movement precise and practiced. The weapon's diagnostic panels pulsed with a steady blue rhythm, like a heartbeat. Quite the audience, Dr. Patel murmured, making a final adjustment to the targeting system. I don't think I've ever seen so many different species in one place. Chen nodded. News of the demonstration had spread rapidly through the Nexus station, drawing observers from every major spacefaring civilization. Some had traveled significant distances just to witness what they assumed would be humanity's humiliation. Admiral CCS's crystalline form shimmered as he approached their position, flanked by a team of technical experts from various species. Commander Chen, your persistence in proceeding with this demonstration is admirable, if misguided. Are you certain you wouldn't prefer to withdraw? There would be no shame in admitting you've recognized the futility of this exercise. We're ready to proceed, Admiral, Chen replied calmly. Though I notice you've brought quite a few shield specialists with you today. The Admiral's surface rippled with what might have been irritation. merely to ensure all safety protocols are properly observed. Shall we begin? Chen nodded to Dr. Patel, who stepped forward to address the gathered crowd. The physicist's voice was amplified by the station's communication system, reaching every observer. Distinguished delegates, what you are about to witness is not merely a weapons test, but a demonstration of how different perspectives can lead to breakthrough innovations. The Herc system represents a completely new approach to energy shield interaction. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Chen could see several technical experts already running scans on their device, their expressions ranging from skeptical to openly dismissive. If you're quite finished with the theatrics, Admiral CCS interrupted, shall we proceed with the demonstration? Chen took her position at the control station. Initiating targeting sequence. The Herc hummed to life, its power core pulsing with increasing intensity. Holographic displays showed the weapon systems coming online one by one, each indicator turning green. Target locked, Chen announced. Shield status. Corvette-class shields at full power, one of the Admiral's technical experts reported. Current rating at 53 terajoules, well above the specified testing parameters. Chen allowed herself a small smile. They'd actually increased the shield strength beyond what was originally agreed upon. Very well. Beginning countdown. 10 seconds to discharge. The observation area fell silent. Even the most dismissive delegates seemed to hold their breath, or whatever passed for breathing among their species. 5 seconds. The Herc's hum rose to a crescendo. 3. Power readings spiked on all monitors. 2. Dr. Patel's hands tightened on her datapad. 1. The weapon discharged. There was no dramatic beam of light, no thunderous explosion. Instead, a barely visible distortion rippled through space, like heat waves rising from hot pavement. It struck the shield and for a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the impossible occurred. The shield didn't shatter or overload. Instead, it simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, its iridescent surface humming with power, and the next it was gone, as if it had never been. The testing platform behind it remained completely untouched. Silence fell over the observation area, so profound that Chen could hear the software of the Herc's cooling systems engaging. Admiral CCS's crystalline surface had gone completely transparent, a sign of shock in his species. The technical experts were frantically checking their instruments, some running the same scans multiple times as if refusing to believe their readings. That's impossible, one of them finally stammered. The shield didn't fail. It didn't overload. It just stopped existing. Not impossible, Dr. Patel corrected, stepping forward. Just previously unexplored. The Herc doesn't attack the shield itself, it creates a localized field that temporarily suspends the quantum properties that allow energy shields to function. But that would mean. One of the older delegates began. That we found a way to locally alter the fundamental forces that your shield technology relies upon, Chen finished. Yes, that's exactly what it means. The implications hit the gathered delegates like a physical force. This wasn't just a new weapon, it was proof that humanity had developed an understanding of physics that had eluded the galactic community for millennia. Admiral CCS's color slowly returned, shifting through various patterns before settling on a deep, thoughtful blue. Commander Chen, I believe we owe you and humanity an apology. We had assumed that your different approach to technology meant you were primitive. We failed to consider that it might instead mean you were innovative. Apology accepted, Admiral, Chen replied diplomatically. Though I hope this demonstrates why humanity would be a valuable addition to the Galactic Defense Force. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come from questioning long-held assumptions. The next few hours passed in a blur of technical discussions and diplomatic negotiations. The demonstration had shifted the balance of power in ways that no one had anticipated. Species that had previously dismissed humanity as primitive were now eager to establish research partnerships and military collaborations. But it was a conversation with Delegate Zix that truly highlighted the magnitude of what they'd achieved. You know, the bioluminescent being said, their spots pulsing with what Chen had learned to recognize as respect. We've been so focused on perfecting our existing technologies that we forgot the value of fresh perspectives. Your species' primitive approach to physics led you to question things we had taken for granted for millennia. That's the advantage of being newcomers, Chen replied. We don't know what's supposed to be impossible. As the day drew to a close, Chen received a priority communication from Earth. The president himself appeared in holographic form, his expression a mixture of pride and relief. Well done, Commander. The Joint Chiefs are already receiving requests for military cooperation from a dozen different species. But more importantly, you've proven that humanity has something unique to offer the galactic community. Thank you, Mr. President. Though I suspect this is just the beginning. Once they recover from their shock, they'll want to know what other innovations we've been working on. Let them wonder, the President smiled. After all, we've just demonstrated that sometimes the most significant advances come from those who don't know what they're not supposed to be able to do. The aftermath. The days following the Herc demonstration transformed the Nexus station into a hive of diplomatic activity. Commander Chen found herself moving from one meeting to another, explaining human innovation to increasingly interested alien delegates. The laughter that had once filled the council chamber had been replaced by intense discussion and debate. The implications are staggering, declared Representative Clara of the Meridian Collective, their hovering form pulsing with excitement during an emergency session of the Defense Technology Council. If humans can temporarily suspend quantum shield properties, what other fundamental forces might they help us reconsider? The chamber, once a source of humiliation for humanity, now served as the center stage for Earth's technological debut. Holographic displays no longer showed mockeries of human weapons but detailed analyses of the Herc system's revolutionary approach to physics. Admiral CCS, who had presided over the demonstration with such smugness just days ago, now sat quietly, his crystalline form displaying patterns of deep contemplation. When he finally spoke, his words carried weight that silenced the chamber. We have existed as a galactic community for over 12,000 years, he began, mandibles clicking thoughtfully. In that time, we have seen countless species rise to join us among the stars. But never, in all our history, has a species so young demonstrated such innovative thinking. Chen watched as the Admiral's colors shifted through various patterns before settling on a deep, respectful azure. Perhaps, he continued, this is precisely why the humans have achieved what they have. They are not bound by millennia of established doctrine. They see possibilities where we see only impossibilities. But not everyone shared the Admiral's philosophical acceptance of humanity's achievement. During a recess, Chen overheard a group of Virian delegates discussing the implications in worried tones. If they can develop this technology in just 3 years since first contact, what else might they create? They're advancing too quickly, too unpredictably. They should be contained, controlled. The whispered concerns didn't surprise Chen. She had expected some species would react with fear rather than admiration. Humanity's rapid technological advancement challenged the established order in ways that made many uncomfortable. Dr. Patel, who had become something of a celebrity among the scientific community, addressed these fears during a technical symposium that evening. The conference hall was packed with representatives from every major species, their attention fixed on the human physicist. The Herc system isn't just a weapon, she explained, standing before a holographic model of the device. It's proof that collaboration between species with different perspectives can lead to breakthroughs none of us could achieve alone. Yes, humanity found a way to temporarily neutralize energy shields. But imagine what we could discover if we combined your millennia of experience with our fresh perspective. Her words sparked a new wave of diplomatic initiatives. Species that had previously regarded humans with condescension now sought research partnerships. The Zix, in particular, seemed eager to establish joint scientific ventures. Your species sees patterns we have become blind to, Delegate Zix admitted to Chen during a private meeting. Their bioluminescent spots pulsed with patterns of excitement as they discussed potential collaborations. We have spent so long refining our existing technologies that we forgot to question their fundamental principles. But it was a conversation with one of the eldest species present, the silicon-based Archeans, that truly highlighted the magnitude of the change humanity had triggered. The Archean Elder, a crystalline being who claimed to remember the founding of the galactic community, requested a private audience with Chen. In all my centuries, the Elder's thoughts resonated directly in Chen's mind. I have never seen a species spark such profound reconsideration of established principles. You humans don't just think outside the box, you question why the box exists at all. The Elder's mental voice carried undertones of both admiration and warning. But be cautious, Commander. Not all will welcome such dramatic change. Some species have built their entire civilizations on the technologies you have just proven vulnerable. They will not adapt easily to this new paradigm. The Elder's words proved prophetic. Within days, reports began arriving of certain species withdrawing from shared defense initiatives, citing the need to reevaluate their strategic positions. Others began rapidly restructuring their military forces, seeking ways to counter potential Herc-based weapons. The galactic arms race had begun. Chen found herself working closely with Earth's diplomatic corps to manage the situation. They had anticipated that the demonstration would change humanity's standing in the galactic community, but the speed and scale of the reaction exceeded all predictions. During a secure conference with Earth's leadership, General Zhang raised the crucial question: should we share the technology? Or keep it as a strategic advantage? The debate that followed lasted hours. Some argued for keeping the Herc system classified, using it as leverage to secure humanity's position in galactic politics. Others, including Dr. Patel, advocated for controlled sharing of the technology to foster goodwill and scientific cooperation. President Richardson finally settled the matter with a surprising decree: we will share the basic principles behind the Herc system with our allies, but not the complete technology. More importantly, we will emphasize that this is just one of many potential innovations humanity is exploring. Let the galaxy understand that we are not just one-hit wonders. The announcement of this policy triggered another wave of diplomatic activity. Species that had previously been hesitant to ally with Earth now rushed to establish formal partnerships, eager to benefit from humanity's unique perspective on physics and technology. Admiral CCS, showing unexpected political acumen, proposed a restructuring of the Galactic Defense Force to better integrate human innovation. We must adapt, he declared during a council session, his crystalline form glowing with conviction. The humans have shown us that our traditional approaches to military technology may be fundamentally flawed. Better to embrace this change than resist it. But as Chen observed the flurry of activity around her, she couldn't shake the Elder's warning. The galaxy was changing, and change rarely came without resistance. Someone, somewhere, would see humanity's rise not as an opportunity for collaboration, but as a threat to be eliminated. As if confirming her concerns, her secure terminal chimed with a priority alert from Earth's intelligence services. Unknown vessels had been detected at the edges of human space, their designs matching no known species in the galactic database. The demonstration had changed everything, but perhaps in ways they hadn't anticipated. Humanity had proven itself worthy of respect, but in doing so, they might have also made themselves a target. New Horizons. 6 months after the Herc demonstration, Commander Chen stood in a very different council chamber. The Nexus station had been transformed, its architecture now incorporating design elements from dozens of species, including, notably, human influences. The curved walls still displayed holographic information, but now they showed collaborative research projects, joint fleet exercises, and unprecedented technological breakthroughs. The unknown vessels that had appeared at the edge of human space had turned out to be more significant than anyone could have predicted. They belonged to the Nomad Collective, a group of species that had rejected membership in the galactic community centuries ago, choosing instead to explore the unknown regions beyond established space. We watched, their ambassador explained during first contact, as the established powers grew complacent, trapped in their own technological paradigms. But you humans, you reminded us why we chose to leave. You showed us that innovation is still possible, that the universe holds more mysteries than the Galactic Council cares to admit. The Nomads' return sent shockwaves through galactic society. They brought with them technologies that defied conventional understanding, proof that humanity wasn't alone in questioning established principles. The galaxy was suddenly faced with not one but two sources of revolutionary innovation. Perhaps this is what we needed, Admiral CCS mused during a private meeting with Chen. His crystalline form displayed patterns she had learned to recognize as philosophical contemplation. A reminder that the universe is vast enough to accommodate many paths to understanding. The integration of human military technology into the Galactic Defense Force had progressed rapidly, but not in the way anyone had expected. Rather than simply adapting the Herc system, the joint human-alien research teams had begun exploring entirely new approaches to defense and propulsion. Dr. Patel, now heading the newly established Interspecies Innovation Institute, had been right. The combination of human creativity with alien experience was producing breakthroughs at an unprecedented rate. It's not just about the technology, she explained during a presentation to the Science Council. It's about combining different ways of thinking. The Crystallian's natural quantum processing abilities, the Zixa's understanding of bioluminescent communication, the Meridian's grasp of gravity manipulation. When you add human creativity and our willingness to question assumptions, the possibilities are endless. But not all the changes were technological. The political landscape of the galaxy had shifted dramatically. The old hierarchy, based on technological advancement and age of spacefaring civilization, was giving way to a new order that valued innovation and adaptability. The Vurian concerns about humanity's rapid advancement had evolved into a broader debate about the nature of progress itself. Some species began questioning their own technological stagnation, leading to a renaissance of scientific exploration across the galaxy. Chen found herself at the center of these changes, not just as a military commander but as a symbol of humanity's impact on galactic society. The same chamber that had once echoed with mocking laughter now hosted serious discussions about the future of interstellar civilization. We were wrong about so many things, Delegate Zix admitted during a session of the newly formed Innovation Council. Their bioluminescent patterns showed genuine remorse. We thought age brought wisdom, that longer spacefaring traditions automatically meant superior understanding. You humans taught us that wisdom can come from seeing things with fresh eyes. The arrival of the Nomads had added another layer to humanity's role in the galaxy. Their technologies, developed in isolation from the mainstream galactic community, provided a second perspective on what was possible when species thought beyond established principles. Three paths now lie before us, the Archean Elder announced during a historic joint session of all councils. The established ways of the galactic community, the independent innovations of the Nomads, and the revolutionary approaches of humanity. Each has value, each has wisdom to offer. Perhaps the true path forward lies in learning from all three. The Elder's words became the foundation for a new approach to galactic cooperation. Instead of expecting younger species to simply adopt established technologies, the community began actively seeking out and valuing different perspectives. But challenges remained. Some species, particularly those whose power had been based on technological superiority, continued to resist the changes. Reports of stolen Herc prototypes and attempted espionage against human research facilities became more frequent. We knew this would happen, President Richardson remarked during a secure conference with Chen and other key figures. Change never comes easily, especially to societies that have remained static for millennia. But we're not alone anymore. We have allies who understand what we're trying to achieve. The president was right. The alliance between humanity, their supporters in the galactic community, and the returned Nomads had created a stability that no one could have predicted. Each group brought different strengths: humanity's innovative thinking, the galactic community's vast experience, and the nomads' independent perspectives. 1 year to the day after the Herc demonstration, Chen stood before the combined councils to present humanity's latest proposal, the Galactic Innovation Initiative. The program would establish research centers throughout the galaxy, bringing together scientists and engineers from all species to explore new possibilities. "We stand at a crossroads," she declared, her voice carrying the weight of experience. "We can cling to what we know, or we can embrace the unknown together. Humanity didn't come to the stars to simply learn your ways, we came to join you in discovering new ones." The chamber, once filled with dismissive laughter, erupted in approving sounds from dozens of species. Even those who had initially feared humanity's rapid advancement had come to understand that the future belonged not to those who knew the most, but to those who were willing to learn the most. As Chen concluded her presentation, she recalled the day everything had changed. The mockery, the demonstration, the shock, it all seemed so long ago. Humanity had proven itself not by dominating the galaxy, but by helping to revolutionize it. Admiral CCS approached her after the session, his crystalline form glowing with what she now knew to be respect. "You know, Commander, when you first requested that demonstration, I thought we were humoring a primitive species. Instead, you showed us that sometimes the greatest wisdom comes from those who aren't afraid to ask why things are the way they are." Chen smiled. "That's the thing about humans, Admiral. We've never been good at accepting limitations, especially ones we don't understand." As she looked out at the stars through the station's vast windows, Chen reflected on how far they had come. Humanity had entered the galactic stage as a curiosity, become a catalyst for change, and emerged as a bridge between different ways of thinking about the universe. The laughter had indeed turned to silence, but that silence had given way to something far more valuable: dialogue, collaboration, and a shared journey into the unknown.